Welcome to Sports Beat KC, presented by Big O Tires. It's Tuesday, January 28th, and I'm your host, Blair Kirchhoff. We're in Miami at the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, and Monday was opening night. It used to be called Media Day, but it's become such a spectacle that Media Day just doesn't quite fit. Fans are invited to watch from the stands, Marlins Park in this case. Some fans interact with the players. The Stars A team of Herbie Teope, Sam McDowell, Vahe Gregorian, and Sam Mellinger discuss what they saw and heard, and after a break, you'll hear from a handful of players. We picked out some of the most revealing quotes from opening night. So here we go. All right, gentlemen, what was the strangest thing you saw tonight on opening night at the Super Bowl? I got a list here. I just want to see if yours are on my list.
The best thing was the Andy Reid, the pump pass and kick.
That was what I was going to say. The best.
I mean, it was also weird,
right? But he was big dude,
yeah.
Right?
But that's the first clown show, costume kind of thing. I was like, you know what? I like that guy.
Well, the best part of it was he went to the trouble of having Reed's name misspelled on the back of the jersey.
As it was on Monday Night Football.
As it was, and it was number 34, which I believe the history is it actually was Les Josephson's jersey that they had to take out because Andy was so big. It was an actual Rams jersey.
I hope you'll read Pete Grathoff and Katie Bernard have written about all this and go to the Stars website to read about the craziness. Herbie, you've covered multiple Super Bowls. Is this one about what you'd expect?
It is about what you expect. And then as soon as you walked in there, and I knew we were in the world of wackiness, I go over to Tyreek Hill's podium, and I step on a fishing pole. And I look down, and I'm like, a fishing pole? Why am I stepping on a fishing? And I turn around, and there's a reporter, and I'm using air quotes here, a reporter there dressed up like, I guess, like a captain, a sea captain or whatever. And the gig was, cast out the reel and then asked a question once the player caught whatever it was they were going to catch. And I was like, good God, here we go. Legitimacy just goes out the window. But hey, they're having fun. I guess that's the whole point of it. And fans get to watch us and listen to us ask questions, so...
People paid for this, too, I think.
Yeah, people paid for this.
One thing I did enjoy, there was a reporter from some ad magazine or whatever, and he was like, I'm asking all these athletes how they feel about brands reaching out to them and commercials and everything. And this was for Daniel Sorensen, who's a fine guy. Not on a lot of billboards. So it's just these questions were getting lobbed about which brands reach out to you. He's like, none. And how do you want brands to reach out? He's like, I really don't. It's just.
And he's probably answering just like that too. Yeah, that's his response.
There was some guy trying to get Andy Reid to answer a question between two snacks that obviously he was promoting. Which is your favorite snack? And Andy just sort of shut him down and said, well, peanut butter M&Ms. He wouldn't accept either of the choices.
They probably didn't use that in the commercial.
They may not use it.
It's just nothing surprises you when you go. Nothing.
It's just such a. And Herbie, it's my first Super Bowl. Herbie warned me about it, but it's just the array of questions. It's not journalism's finest hour.
Well, it doesn't even try to be, right? I mean, at this point, it's understood to be, clown show thing, right? But what's the criteria for who they credential?
There's 6,000 of us. A request.
Clearly, anyone. I mean, you had Dancing with the Stars.
Well,
I
walked into an Inside Edition on-air talent.
You're going to be on TV?
Dancing with Byron Pringle and, giving him a dance lesson. I just backed into that. I ended up in the video.
It's funny because Zach Gilbert, who works with the league, he was over there with Tyreek Hill, and he kind of leaned over to me and he mentioned to me, gotta hope nobody pulls out a guitar and serenades the head coach. In reference to what happened last year, a reporter pulled out a guitar and was singing to Bill Belichick, and they had to escort him out. But that is the whole point of it. They're all having fun, and Sam is correct. A lot of the questions are not journalistic in nature. It has nothing to do with football, and you have to fight with all that, though, if you have a legit question.
It had nothing to do with journalism, really. I mean, it is kind of, not to be the gruff old man here, but I mean, it's kind of just an entertainment night. I mean, although we are actually trying to extract real answers to real questions.
Some of us are trying to write stories.
Well, they did keep the dozen or so players at a podium for an hour, and so they did have to take some legitimate questions along with some silly ones. I went back and listened to some of the audio and heard Travis Kelce asked, and you'll hear this later because I saved it, who the Oscar finalists were this year.
Mahomes was asked as well.
So I guess somebody was going around asking everybody questions like that, and just strange things, just odd. But I think
did Kelce get any? Because Mahomes got 0.
No, but Kelce did know who the other person besides Jennifer Lopez was performing at halftime.
Yeah, Mahomes knew that one as well.
Okay, so good on that. I bet
Staying up on pop culture.
I bet Dave Tobe would know that. I also saw a guy who was teaching card tricks to Chiefs players, including Alex Brown. So these guys were mesmerized by the card tricks. But,
Was there a guy walking around with Rock'em Sock'em robots too?
yes.
What was he doing with those?
First of all, Alex Brown had to be pumped for that.
Sorry, I interrupted that point.
No, but
yeah.
he took that the Rock'em Sock'em Robot game to the podium. Some of the players were actually playing it up at the podium. So I guess he's promoting, a toy that was around when I was a kid. Wonder where the yo-yo guy was, or the silly putty guy, or the slinky guy.
The slinky. Such a wonderful story.
So did we get anything out of this tonight, just knowledge-wise? Did we learn anything about the Chiefs?
Got some hamburger helper, as we like to say. Not a lot of steak. But look, I think some people were kind of interesting for sure, and we did our best to get around as many places as we could. I thought Andy Reid was pretty loose, and but also informative to some degree on some things we're working on. I thought he showed a side of himself, and I stayed there the whole time with Andy actually, and I did get with D Ford for about a half hour, and I thought D Ford was pretty good when the 49ers came up. How'd you guys do?
Story building.
I think that the silence tells you everything.
I think when you walk into the opening night, and because you have so much access, you got to start building your stories for later on in the week. And I know all 5 of us have a lot of good stories or quality stories, unlike opening night that you're going to read about. We got some good stuff on tap here. I think what really struck me, and I hate to go somber here, but the moment of silence when we walked in there. We're dealing with a lot of athletes who are still reeling from the shock of Kobe Bryant's death, and a lot of the Chiefs players talked about it. In fact, just from hearing a lot of the questions, it seems like that was always the first one asked. Not necessarily from us, but from a lot of the other media people. What was your reaction? Where were you when you heard about Kobe Bryant's death? And the Chiefs all found out as they were flying in. Frank Clark, you were over there with him, but I know he had some pretty compelling stuff there. He turned off his phone. He didn't want to believe it. Closed his eyes, laid down on the plane, and then finally Chris Jones came over and told him, "Hey, it's true." But we're dealing with a lot of players who idolized him. A lot of the Chiefs players, as we know from being in that locker room, love basketball. Colin Sanders says, "Hey, that was a tough one to take." Just dealing with that.
It did seem to be the sort of the news of the day because every interview that I listened back to included several questions.
Yeah, Mahomes was asked about it more often. This is one of the natures of the setup of being up there for 60 minutes is the audience rotates. So the body hung around Andy Reid. I never loved Patrick Mahomes' scrum, and I think he was asked about it 9 or 10 times about Kobe Bryant. He said he used to idolize him as a kid, like I'm sure a lot, like Herbie mentioned, a lot of those guys did. And still, to this day, we'll watch videos of Kobe Bryant the day before he plays a game. Yeah. And it's not basketball videos, it's like a lot of his speeches and stuff he just finds inspiring.
The Kobe chant after the moment of silence ended was what hit me. I was like, wow. Steve.
Yeah. Look, this happened the day before, right? It happened Sunday. The crash happened Sunday morning, afternoon Eastern time. And so it is fresh in everybody's everybody's memory. So, yeah, you'll hear Frank Clark after we come back from a break. You'll hear what Frank Clark had to say about growing up in South Central LA and what Kobe Bryant meant to him. You're also going to hear from, let me see if I got the list right, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, and wrapping it up will be Chris Jones, who, let's just say, was revealing in his comments. We'll leave it at that. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
If your steering wheel has more traction than your actual tires, that's a big O no. Thankfully, for all your car's big O no's, there's always a big O yes. Now through February 2nd, buy 3, get 1 free on select sets of 4 Aspen Touring AS or Mesa AP2 brand tires with paid installation purchase. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. See store for pricing. Eligibility may vary. Not valid with other offers. At participating locations, no cash value.
Hey, it's Blair. Hey, we have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns we have to offer. And it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. For your convenience, your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. A lot of subscription services won't tell you that. They'll just sneak it on there. We just told you. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star. Please visit kansascity.com/sportsbeatkc offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening. Welcome back to SportsBeat KC. As I was saying, you're going to hear from 5 Chiefs players, starting with Frank Clark. He talks about playing with swag and gives us his thoughts about growing up in Los Angeles as a Kobe Bryant fan. Kobe's death on Sunday was a big topic on opening night. Next, we'll hear from Tyreek Hill on what a successful Super Bowl would mean to him. Then he talks about something he hasn't addressed, at least to my knowledge, the contract extension he signed earlier this year. Herbie Teope asked Hill about that. Travis Kelce tells us what it was like to watch his brother win a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles 2 years ago. And through Kelce, we give you a glimpse of some of the non-sports questions the players were asked on opening night. Sammy Watkins speaks to how much he enjoys playing football without the pressure of carrying the receiving corps. And finally, Chris Jones provides our final thought. Chris was asked about a wardrobe malfunction at the NFL Combine a few years ago that left him, well, exposed. His response is why he's one of the funniest and most engaging players on the team, in addition to being one of the best. So first up is Frank Clark.
I feel like in this sport sometimes, we it's so many cameras in front of us and there's so much going on, that guys get away from being themselves and being real. I think when you're real, people appreciate that more. I feel like you guys can appreciate that much more. You can get a feel for a guy much more. And that's the one thing that coach wants, out of us. He wants us to be real, and just show our true colors and show ourselves. Why not, at the end of the day. I feel like we got the most swag in the NFL. For sure. Most swag, championship swagger. That's all we about. Championship swagger. Football first, swag second. It was Kobe Bryant. Anybody tell you who knows me, my mother will tell you, my idol, pictures, anything about Kobe Bryant, Black Mama Bean, 824, anything about him I fell in love with. I mean, from his drive, to how passionate he was about his work ethic. I base a lot of things off of him. I got a lot of his books. I could say every book almost he's had. He's one of my biggest idols. Growing up in Los Angeles, inner city, South Central, you don't got a lot to lean on. You don't got a lot to look forward to. It's gangs, and that's really it, gangs and drugs. And the one person, if anything, I look to, for inspiration and for all my strength growing up, when I was going through the things I was going through was Kobe Bryant. I mean, he was a successful guy, and that's the one thing you look to. You look at gangs, you look at the drug dealers, then you look at the guys who are successful and the athletes. And Kobe Bryant being one of those guys, around me, he was winning championships, him and Big Shaq. We talking about the early 2000s. LA was on fire, baby. LA was on fire.
It's very important. I feel like this game right here is where you leave a legacy at. Like, if you want to be remembered by people, if you want to be remembered, you know what I'm saying, whether it's good or bad, I feel like this is the game. Like, this is the time where the media is here. Like, everybody's watching. The whole entire world is watching. So this is where this game right here is where you separate yourself from a lot of players. Like, a lot of people say, oh, I want to be the best receiver in the league. Oh, I want to be this. I want to be that. Well, here's your chance to prove it. You want to be the best? Prove it, man, on the biggest stage in the world. For the Chiefs to give me that amount of money, you know what I'm saying, I'm truly blessed. Like, I thank them for that. I thank Clark Hunt. I thank Coach Reed for this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I thank Brett Veach for this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And I would never let those guys down. I never let my family down, man, because I want to I want to keep getting those extensions. You know what I'm saying? Because that kind of felt good. I ain't gonna cap. It felt good for a minute. You know, and I love being in KC. I love the fans. I love the support, you know, that they give us. And then Arrowhead is just amazing. Just playing in Arrowhead is crazy. Oh, I just took that time and just I was just picking my son up for school then. So it was like a win-win for me, you know. I mean, I was kind of sad about it, but again, I made some light out of it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this time and I'm gonna just start picking my son up from school. Cool. My son was like, Dad, hey, you picking me up? Now see, look, now my son be looking for me every day. Now like, Dad, where you at, man? Like, you used to pick me up. I'm like, son, I'm not hurt no more. I can't pick you up. I can't. You saw? You mentioned your son a lot here. How much does that change you? Not just as a player, but as a I don't know, man. Life is too short for all this crazy stuff, man. So I just feel like my kids are the most important thing for me, and my kids are the one who's gonna carry on my legacy. You know, so first I gotta leave a good legacy for my kids to carry on. So that's why I gotta do everything I can to stay in their life and raise them the right way and love on them and love my babies, man, especially my daughter.
I was out there in Minnesota. It was a very unique situation because I got to see it almost secondhand, and really kind of in the background of the Eagles, asking my brother everything that was going on that week, and you know, it was unique how tight of a team they were, how their chemistry, they just felt like they were a brotherhood even from the outside in. You could just tell how tight knit that group was, and with that being said, I think this team is the exact same feeling going into it, how much we appreciate each other and have fun on the field with each other, and, you know, make sure we're doing the right things so we're accountable for each other. Can you name 4 of the current Oscar nominees? No, I cannot. I've been a little busy. Besides J-Lo, which Latina star is performing at the Super Bowl? Is it... what is her name? I know, Shakira?
Also, Brad Pitt is a huge Kansas City fan.
Nice.
Words of support for him as well.
I'm a huge Brad Pitt fan. There we go. Tell Brad I said hello. Brad, we're going after him for you.
I'm not the number one guy that everybody's looking for or targeting. We have, I think, about 7 or 8 superstars on the team. So I can literally go out there and have fun and play. And I think that's the best part of my career now. Everything is not on me. I can just literally run my routes and, you know, when the ball comes to me, make the best of my opportunities. For sure, when I was young, you know, I wanted the ball. Give me the ball. I want the ball every play. And I think, you know, I was on probably one of the worst teams ever. When you're getting the ball every play, most likely you're freaking losing. And I think now I'm in the best situation to where I'm healthy. I'm in the Super Bowl. And I don't have to depend on myself. I have a lot of other guys that can go out there and make plays.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I kind of dropped the mic. But you know what? When it happened, everybody was like, oh, my God, I feel sorry for you. And I was like, it couldn't have happened to a better guy. I was made for the moment. I killed the moment. And one thing I gotta say, man, whatever you do it balls out.
You still hear about it to this day?
1,000%.
This is literally hearing
No problem.
That'll do it from our first full day in Miami. We have some great shows planned for you this week, so please tune in every day to get the most comprehensive discussion of the Chiefs and the Super Bowl. Links to our coverage from the Super Bowl can be found in the show notes on kansascity.com and the Red Zone Extra app. Thanks to Derek Donovan, who worked late into the night yesterday to produce the show. We'll be back on Wednesday for another episode of Sports Beat KC, where we talk sports in Kansas City, even when a team is in Miami, every day. Thanks for tuning in.